Decision to Leave, out in theaters, latest film from Park Chan-wook, director of such classics as Old Boy and The Handmaiden, amongst many other films. This new film of his has been marketed as a thriller, but for me it's more of a tense and tragic love story, all wrapped up and tangled up in a crime film. We start with a middle-aged detective who is investigating a recent death of a man who fell down from a cliff, from a rock, while climbing. He suspects that this may not have been accidental, and he suspects that his widow, much younger, much more attractive than him, than the deceased man, and with Chinese roots, may have been involved. And so begins this game of cat and mouse, where on the one hand the detective tries to find out if the woman indeed had something to do with the husband's death, and on the other he becomes fascinated with the mysterious beauty. So I thought it was a very, very good film, and the thing I liked second best about it, we'll get back to that, is the narrative structure. It's quite unique because it sets up the story, it follows the beats you would expect to follow, it gets to the resolution, and then it keeps going for another hour. Right where a lesser movie would end, this one starts a new chapter, which kind of recontextualizes things, which puts a new perspective on events and twists the previously known things to give you more to think about and to sort of flip some of the situations around. And it also makes the actual resolution that much more painful by enhancing the tragedy and the drama of the whole thing, and by letting us spend even more time with the characters. Now, the thing that I actually liked best about it is the editing. The film is an absolute masterpiece in that regard. The scene transitions, the cuts, the way the story flows forward like a grand piece of music is simply spectacular. Some of the choices behind the camera are so unexpected but so satisfying. I mean, it really is a beautiful film to watch. And it's very creative in moving from scene to scene and in using its tools to tell the story that it's telling. I also really like the music and the performances. I think both leads have palpable chemistry with one another and the feelings between them are completely believable. I also like the sort of ambiguity with whether any given person in the story is a villain or not, whether their motives are justifiable, because they are certainly understandable. But the movie doesn't really cast final judgment. It lets the audience decide what they want to think about the whole thing. There is one aspect of the film which makes me regretful and sad, and that is the language that it uses. Because it's a plot point that the widow is Chinese and she learns Korean from old television dramas, and I've read that her way of speaking, which the other characters comment on as well, is quite distinct from regular everyday Koreans. And native speakers have commented on the internet that the writing of the film in general is extremely tight and has a lot of double meaning and often hidden in untranslatable expressions, specific words or phrases. So the dialogue is very important. And as much as I understood what was going on through English subtitles, I am absolutely certain that a lot of the nuance was lost on me simply because of not knowing Korean. I've already had that sort of experience with Parasite, where I thought I knew all about the film, and then after the fact I learned about the nuance between formal and informal Korean in certain scenes, which informs, the situations and the characters. And I am sure that with Decision to Leave, that would be even more pronounced, even if just because of the romantic and intimate nature of dialogue. But it's something I can't really defeat right now, so I have to accept that I've seen the film in a sort of incomplete version, which in my opinion is always what any translation will inevitably be. Still, I was able to enjoy it tremendously. I think it's very well written, very well directed, and fantastically edited. It takes a lot of risks and manages to shine through the execution, and it's a very satisfying movie. Thoroughly recommend.